What's up, guys? In the works and some Black Ops 2. Yes, I know it has been a while since I've posted any, about a little over I think like a week and a half or so. But I owe you guys a Black Ops 2 review. And even though the notion of this video isn't necessarily, I didn't really come into this thinking I'd do a review. I wanted to just kind of chit chat with you about the game, because today is actually kind of a significant day in Black Ops 2 because it marks the 1 month since the release of the game. And I wanted to sit down and talk about where I stand on the game, kind of give you my thoughts and my thought process on my experiences with the game, because a lot of you guys did want me to do a review on it. I feel like it's been out for a month. It's a fair amount of time to kind of go in and look at all the changes they've made, kind of look at where the game is now, and give you my overall opinion on it, because a lot of people were skeptical on this game. I know a lot of people have actually soured on the game. I think that there's several factors that go into that, and these games you're going to be watching in particular is really going to highlight that. These are some really competitive games. Like, I go on to Black Ops usually just to shoot people and relax. I don't go on there to exhibit any sort of skill. I mean, in Black Ops 1 I had no problem getting 100+ kill games on the regular, but on this, with the skill-based matchmaking, it's quite difficult to get away with that. And I think this game is, it's one of those games where I sat down and I was like, man, I really felt like I was beasting with this MTAR, and then I realized that I died like 12 to 15 times, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe not so good. But, I had fun, and I think that's an important aspect of it. And one of the things that I notice a lot in Black Ops 2 is I'll have a lot of fun in one game, and then the next game will just be the exact opposite. So it's a very hit or miss game. I go very hot and cold with it. I feel much like a drop shot. How did I pull that off? I'm pretty sure that is my first ever drop shot on the PC. So there you go, guys. You just witnessed it. But yeah, like I said, I go pretty hot and cold with this game. It's like sometimes I'll have the best time in the world. Sometimes I will really enjoy my time on Black Ops 2. The next experience I have, not so much. I'm getting target findered, I'm getting sniped, I'm getting, Remingtoned across the map, and I mean, that thing is absolutely beastly. I mean, I don't really actually have a problem with that. It just gets kind of frustrating when you get one shot from so far away by a shotgun, considering that these maps are so small. So that's not really one of the big issues, though. I think one of the issues a lot of people are still having with the game is the skill-based matchmaking, because it kind of kills the casual experience of Call of Duty. I mentioned earlier, I don't play this game to exhibit any sort of skill, and I think that's the notion that a lot of players take in terms of, when they sit down and play Call of Duty. The casual player isn't out to get game battles games. The casual player isn't out to be an MLG pro. They just want to go out there and feel like they're a good player. If you can go just above average, usually even the most casual players can feel like they were actually contributing and beasting and the best player in the world. So I think Black Ops does a really bad job of that, because even though it sounds kind of cocky, it's kind of like, getting your butt kicked in a first-person shooter is kind of like a rite of passage. It's almost like a hazing. It's like, okay, I get my butt kicked, and then eventually I will improve. And it sounds really cocky. It's almost like, okay, well, that just benefits the good players. It entertains them, and it makes it so that the bad players have a bad time, which I don't think that's the case at all. I mean, when I first started playing first-person shooters, Halo in particular, I really had to step up my game in order to get better. And it's not so much that you can't enjoy yourself when you're getting a butt kicked. I mean, one of my buddies' 40-year-old dad plays this game, and he may not be the best player in the world, but he seems to still have fun, even though he goes 500 most of the time. So it's not the worst thing in the world to have the old style of matchmaking. I don't have anything wrong with a skill-based matchmaking, but I think it really kind of divides the player base, and I think it's really an example of how Treyarch is kind of out of touch in that respect, if they really think the community wants something like that. I think it's not so much that it kills the quote gameplay aspect where these famous Call of Duty YouTubers can't get gameplay. I don't think that should ever be a factor in a game. I think it more so kills the experience, because people are sick of getting beasted on by full parties. I mean, that seems to be the norm these days, is running into full parties. So I've rambled on here for about it seems like 3 minutes on skill-based matchmaking, but I do think it's one of the things that really needs to be addressed. I think it should be more allocated towards league play. Do I think they had bad intentions when doing it? No, but it is one of the things that I think a lot of people are getting frustrated with. Now, the guns in these games have always been really polarizing. It's either you use the super best one or you're using a crappy gun. That's always seems to be the way Call of Duty's kind of worked. But with Black Ops 2, I feel like a lot of the weapons all have a purpose in the game. They all have some sort of usability. And for that, I applaud them. I do like the guns in the game. Now, do SMGs dominate? And I mean dominate the ARs? Yeah, they do. But they have addressed that. They've fixed the sway on the ARs. You know, they kind of nerfed the penetration power, and we're going to go into a second game here. But I think for the most part, the guns themselves do have balance. There is not really, in my mind, that many weapons that seem like they're just ridiculous. Yeah, the PDW-57 has a lot of ammunition, but I mean, it's no MP40 from World at War, it's no FAMAS from Black Ops 1, heck, it's no M16 from COD 4. It seems like the weapons all can beat the other weapons. It really just depends on the player, and I think that they really did put the skill level a little bit back into the game. Now, the one thing that I think a lot of people are frustrated with, though, is the fact that there's a spray and pray aspect with a lot of the SMGs and the laser sights. Now, you guys know that I've always been a big hipfire guy. Being someone who played a lot of Counter-Strike back in the day, I tend to hipfire a lot, and that's just a habit. Like, I try to get out of it. You know, I did it a lot in Battlefield when I first started playing. I do it a lot in this game, and I don't really find it to be that big of a deal that SMGs have good hip fire. I mean, it really makes sense. If you walked up to someone within, you know, like 15 yards and you hip fired them with an SMG, most likely you're going to kill them. I mean, that's just my thought, especially if you get a little laser pointer, you know, pointed on their body. It makes it really easy to figure out where they're at. And I think you would do an okay job of killing that person. So I'm not really that against it. I do think the SMGs need to have more recoil, though. That's something they do need to address. I know they are doing a pretty good job of patching the game. They seem to be interested in fixing it. So those two aspects, you know, there's good gun mechanics. There's good selection of guns. Some of the guns maybe need a little tweaking here and there, but I think for the most part they did a lot better with this game than they had in past Call of Duties in terms of gun balance, in terms of having the features of a balanced game. So that's something that I think they did a really good job of. Now, the gameplay, the maps, the stuff like that, I've talked about the maps in past videos. I am not a fan of the maps. I think if I was ever going to give this game one big strike, it would be the maps. Even though some of them have grown on me, like Hijacked. I actually do like Hijacked. I don't know what the heck's wrong with me. I must be a glut for punishment, but I do enjoy Hijacked. Oddly enough, I really enjoy Slums and I really enjoy Raid. Those are two maps that I do like a lot. So there are a few maps in the game that are good, but I think a lot of them are a little bit subpar. I think that kind of goes back into the competitive design of this game. It seems like it's more designed for an MLG type team versus the general public. The maps seem to lack a lot of character. They seem kind of bland. There's not a lot of elements of the maps that I feel like make them next gen console. I feel like this is more like something that you would see on like a Quake 2 map or something like that. Obviously the overall skins of the map are a little bit better, but I don't know. I mean, that's really just more of an opinion. There are some good maps, but I think for the most part they're a little bland. So I want to know what you guys think. That's kind of my overall view of the game. I do enjoy it. Like I said, I go hot and cold with this game from time to time. But there are a lot of aspects of this game that I do enjoy. So let me know what you guys think. 1 month later, where does this game stand? Are you guys still playing it? Did you like Black Ops 2 as a whole? So I thought these were two competitive games that were interesting. They went down to the wire, but if you missed any of my past videos, I did a Battlefield 3 Aftermath Recon guide, which is freaking awesome, guys. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. And I'm also going to link my Black Ops 2 Class Act, which is my mainstay Black Ops 2, I guess, series on this channel, so check that out. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.